Hi, welcome to today's episode of Black Sea's Shipyard. Today we're going to cover kind of building your fire ships. Well, sort of. Let's take a look at what I do with my fire ships. Stay tuned. Alright, so here's my fire ship project. Now, I wanted to put that into air quotes, but here's what's going on. I was going to make these. I bought these to become fire ships, and once I looked at them, I decided these are not going to be fire ships. What I was surprised at, not in a bad way, was all of the detail on the decks. Obviously that's gunpowder and flammables and things like that for the fire ship, but I thought about it, and that looks just like an overloaded cargo ship, merchant ship. So that's what I did, is I went ahead and built my fire ships per the instructions, except instead of using the ragged sails, I went ahead and used light color sails and did a little bit of work on the rigging that's a little different. So I'm going to go over a few steps. All the things I'm going to show you today apply to building your fire ship. Now, I can still use these as fire ships by simply taking the orange fire wool and placing it on the ship. Everyone knows these are fire ship models, so if I just put those on there, the wool, when I want to use them as fire ships, great. Otherwise, I can use them as even more small merchants for like Smuggler's Run and the merchant convoy mission in the book. You need 3 merchant ships for that, and instead of using the frigate, you might as well have something cool looking. So anyway, today we're going to kind of go over how to build the the tips about building. All right, we're going to start. We'll use this now. Again, this is a work in process. Still a lot to go. When it comes to painting, that's no big deal. Now this one, the spar boom here just came off. I have to re-glue that. But otherwise, it's in the process of being rigged. The way I went about building this is I made sure I only pre-built I actually didn't pre-build anything on this. I left all the parts separate. I built nothing. So essentially you have 2 booms for the gas sail. You got the mizzen mast and the main mast, bowsprit, yeah, and the hull itself. I painted each of them separately just to make my life easier, and then to me it's a little easier to hold the mast and turn it as I'm painting the iron bands, and then I can always, once I mount it in here, I don't need to worry about the model getting in the way. Okay. What I did as far as colors, since I went about painting these as merchant ships, which by the way makes sense since almost all fire ships in history were built using old merchant ships that were purchased or otherwise recruited by the government. No sense in wasting an extremely expensive fighting ship in such a wasteful manner. So we went ahead. They used cargo ships, so I treat them as small merchants. None of them are going to be painted like a regular military vessel, so I went ahead and did a couple different things, a couple different colors. I honestly couldn't tell you what colors these are. I think this is brown beige from Vallejo, but I could be wrong. Honestly, this one I believe is the Speed Paint Pallid Flesh by Army Painter. What I did for this one is actually do a white upper hull, because I kind of likes the look of that. Now in all 3 cases I used like Iraqi sand or dark sand. This is Iraqi sand, this is dark sand, so there's a slight color difference, but it's a very light deck color. Works well for me. And then painted using I want to say this is Vallejo's Model Air wood color, and it's just a nice color to fit, and then I went ahead and did all the spars black like normal. Did my sails in, this looks like the medium khaki. No, that looks like the light khaki sail color. Well, so once I get everything painted, I should have done this in reverse order. Oh, before I go that, sorry. When it came to the stuff on the deck, I went ahead and I bought a couple different browns from Army Painter's new speed paint line, because I figured it'd be a lot easier to just apply that and it'll do all the shading for me. So I went ahead and did that. Pick the color you want. I want to say this is, yeah, this is hardened leather. And then I went over it and used a khaki with for all the rope and all the canvas covers to kind of pick out the details there. And since there's no cannon, there's no need to put, you know, the cannon barrels or anything in there. Okay, anyway, after doing that, you need to prepare for the backstays. Just like with all resin models, they're not going to give you a place to put the backstay. Alright, now when it comes to drilling for the backstay, all resin ships you need to drill your own spot. You can put it in the channel back here or back here. Let me show you because where you're going to put the rat lines, there is room behind, which is the proper place to put a backstay anchor. However, I kind of think that that's very little in the way of material, especially considering how much of the is going to be drilled out. I use a number 70 drill, which is 0.028 inches, and I chose to drill between the channels. There's 2 gun ports. Okay, come on, get to the focus. There it is. And one is right there, and one is right above the very last gun port. Both of those number 70 drill bits, and with a number 70, that should allow you to feed even Warlord Games thread through. But once I get that all done, it's just a simple matter of stringing up the backstays like you're supposed to. Now, one thing I did to make this a little different, because you will get a brig and frigate. Actually, no, sorry, you won't. You're going to get this in a Fireship. Sorry, you're going to get this part of a brig and frigate card. It's actually 2 pieces cut in half, all ready for you. Okay, basically 2 brigs and then 1 frigate. These are the battered, burned sails, which I don't want on my ships. That's what comes with it. Now, what I decided to do instead is go with some more light color sails, especially since I have the white here. I'll probably go medium color browns on these 2, just for fun. But what I decided to do to make it look really good, since the bowsprit on this is so much longer. Matter of fact, here's the small merchant, and the bowsprit is just about the same length. And on the merchant, there's only 2 jib sails. I wanted 3 because I think it looks cool. So what I went ahead and used the regular brig set, but on some of my frigates, I only used 2 of the 3 jib sails because I liked some variety. Not all ships had all the sails out all the time, right? That's why you got battle sails, full sail, light sail. So some of my ships only have 2 jib sails. And matter of fact, this is a third-rate set. So you can use a third-rate jib sail on the lead jib, because the jibs get smaller as you get closer to the hull. Okay, and so you can use, like I did here. This is from a frigate, and so I used 2 brig and a frigate jib sails. I could have used, as a matter of fact, I will be using, yeah, I might want to go with a light sail on this one. A third-rate, then a frigate, and then a brig jib sail. That way I get some size difference. I get some different looks. And these are just brig sails up here. Now when it comes to rat lines, that's when things get interesting, because I'm going to go ahead and link at the end of this video to my rigging videos, because I want to show you how to rig that. I mean, I've already done that. But the rat lines is important because it doesn't really, they give you a set of ratlines, and it's not, you got to pick the right ones, because what matters here is the length that the entire ratline has to cover. Okay? And this means you're going to have to pull from the frigate batch of ratlines and the brig batch of ratlines to make it look right. So let me show you which those are. Alright, so I've already used one of these on a different frigate, but this is the kit, the rigging ratline card. Now, in order to make this fit, you have to match the height. Now here is a brig, and we'll compare the height of the mizzen mast on the brig to the first platform, fighting top, is roughly the same as with this one, with the Fireship. So what I chose to do was use these larger ratlines for the mizzen mast on this ship. Okay. Now when it came to the front here, that is much larger than either of the brig masts between the channel and the fighting platform. So you have to go up to the frigate. And in the frigate line, you're going to have to use one of the four-mast ratlines, the middle size, and that's what you're going to use. Now you'll have to cut the top off. What I like to do is place it down and figure out how far down do I need to cut it, snip it so that it fits, and then glue it on. And now I've got my ratlines that are the right size for this merchant ship / Fireship. Okay. So hopefully that gave you some ideas and kind of a different way to approach the Fireships and how to deal with the ratlines and backstays. So voila, there is a Fireship / small merchant. Now I want to kind of walk you through some obvious points that just for discussion purposes. This is the my small merchant ship out of the Fireships. This is a brig. They're fairly close, but this is bigger. And this is the small merchant ship. See, it's a lot bigger. It's close. The Fireship is supposed to be a medium-sized ship. When you look at the Black Seas rule book and you look at the Fireship entry itself, or you look at the card too if you want, the Fireship is a medium ship with 20 hull points, which is the same hull points as a brig, but it has a yellow turn angle and rated out to 3. But the fact that it's supposed to be a medium ship means this probably should have been a little bit bigger, in my opinion. But since it is larger than the brig, and the brig is currently the largest small ship that's out there, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the bomb ketch is bigger. But anyway, because the bomb ketch is also a small ship. So since all those, this is larger than the larger small ships, we can call this a small on the small end of the mediums. So this is now a medium. It counts as a Fireship, which is medium. Therefore, it should count as a medium small merchant. The size difference is there, but again, when you add that extra jib sail, it gives it a little bit more visual bulk than the brig. The brig has a lot more room between the two masts, and it's small. It looks smaller not only because the hull is smaller, but you have a short bowsprit and you only have 2 jib sails. Here, by putting on 3 jib sails on the longer bowsprit, it looks fuller and it looks bigger. So that's how I ended up with 3 more merchant ships. I now have a merchant fleet of 5 vessels, and 6 if you count the kind of a 6th rate looking ship I have. Alright, so hope that was kind of helpful, give you some ideas of how else to use your Fireships. Share, like, and subscribe, and please comment, ask questions, give your ideas in the comments below. Catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.